Welcome. And this is our video about the Kaiser
Are
Chiefs.
you saying that for reals?
I mean, I don't know. It's rolling.
Hi, cześć.
Chest.
Aw, cześć.
We're here in the midst of Kaiser Chiefs territory. What do they sing?
They sing, baby, baby, I love you.
It's close. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Do me, do me, do me, do me.
This is not what they sing.
This is not what they say. They sing something anyway, and it's about Ruby, and hence we are excited because we love Ruby. We're deep into that kind of stuff. And today, by the way, we get to look at how we can figure out how everything works with routes that play into a controller. Holy moly, like it's MVC times, really. Are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep through this? Is that what that is?
Maybe, depends how boring you get.
Just wait and see, it'll be terrible. So routes play into a controller, like what we ask for in terms of URL gets translated into lighting up a route that hooks up to various controller actions. Inside the controller is all these 7 different actions. Just to keep things confusing, there were actually 8 different routes that it could come from. Oh gosh. Anyway, put and patch are 2, so that's why it's 8. Like there's 7, you would think it's 7, but really these are like doubled up, so there's 8 routes that play into 7 controller actions that some of them will save stuff or modify stuff out in a model, like these last 3. And then some of them will just get stuff from a model, like there's 3 of them. Edit, show, and index will try to grab stuff from a model. New doesn't care. Like, it's just like, oh, you want to make a new something? I don't have to touch the database. I'm just going to show you a form. That's all I'm going to do. But anyway, these 4 here, they will present a form or a page, a view template, so you can see what the hell is going on.
Can I present it in my own way?
Please do, because this is dismal so far. And by the way, here's Mishu, our teddy bear, who's looking on this whole thing, thinking like, what in the hell is going on?
Exactly. The easiest way for me to understand how it works is to try to...
You are. You're looking on this thing. Hi.
Yeah, so the easiest way to try to understand it is to imagine that we are calling some help desk, some call center, and then at first you have this like a monkey speaking to you. Hi, if you want to talk to these people, press number 1. If you want to do this, press 2. If you whatever. So this is our routes. This is when you get someone redirecting you somewhere else, and it goes to the controller. And then the controller is the person that you are talking to when you finally get through all these numbers and funky things and all the Mozart little songs and Vivaldi afterwards. So then you get to controller and you talk to Anna, Hannah, or Tom, whoever is picking up your phone. And then you say, hey, I would like to have, I don't know, a doctor's appointment. I would like to create my insurance number or whatever. And they usually say, oh, let me check that. And then they go to the model and to the database. And then they get the little information. And then they may go and say, okay, I will send you email with this information. And this is what the view is. Or they may be like, okay, I will send you a letter. It will come in 4 months, maybe. So this is another option for the view thing.
So getting something from the database and then presenting it out, like here would be a list of something. Index means a list of all of something. Show means to show me just one of something. Edit means to modify an existing something. And all of these things, apparently these 3, we had to go talk to the database to say, what do I have right now? And then present some information for the end user. It might be like, you mentioned Tom from over at the help desk, and then he's going to ship us out a letter. And so all of these things, these are the only 4 actions that map over to stuff that we see. We could get a form for editing or making a new thing, and then it utilizes this underscore form thing, actually, this view template over and across the way. Or we could see all of them, or just see one of them. And all of this is automatically built out by doing a Rails G scaffold. Holy crow.
Maybe you remember some stuff from the musicality thing when we were building up the application. That was what video?
Jolene.
Jolene, yeah.
Musical thing.
So then we presented you how our show worked as well as index.
That's right. We saw a list of all genres or all artists, and then we could see just one genre or one artist.
We were also able to create a new one, and when we made some stupid mistakes, we could change it by edit.
That's right. So all of this has already happened. In fact, when we did a Rails G scaffold, it built out all of this junk for us, and it worked.
Very useful junk.
It's amazing what Rails does automatically for us. But now we finally, in this video, we get to figure out what all of that stuff is and actually make it happen, which is pretty powerful, honestly.
I love how Martina is just laughing at us.
Oh, you guys are doing Rails in the background. Our friend Martina is just sitting there as happy as a clam, wondering like what we're up to.
It's just because she's on the Beirut concert right now.
Oh, that's right. She went with her boyfriend over to the Beirut concert. Over in France, was it?
Yeah, they're just right now in Paris.
Oh, so good. Hi, we miss you guys. We hope that you love Rails because we miss you. So hopefully we get to go and burn something on the grill soon again. Be nice. Where should we go from here? Maybe we take a look at the first thing in this whole messy ecosystem, which is the set of routes. Notice, by the way, 4 have to do with the get verb, the HTTP verb of get. You sometimes also might hear this as being an HTTP method of get. And then 1 has to do with posting things, which means make a new one. So it goes over to create.
And then it sends it to database because the arrow points down.
Yeah, as we do a post, then it goes to the controller, and the controller says, I want to build something, and then it goes to the database. Wow! And then if we do a put or a patch, so this is an HTTP method of put or patch. And then if you go like, here's thing number 5. We could show thing number 5 over the show, and then we just see it. We got it from the database. But if we put or patch thing number 5, then it tries to update, and it changes the thing in the database. And then what about, we hate thing number 5. And then so we say, all right, you thing number 5, destroy.
And then you become a murderer.
Ah! We finally got to see like all of Rails. This is essentially the whole Rails framework in one page. That's why Martina's like, oh, you guys finally get to learn Rails. Ha! I love you, Martina. There she is in France, like laughing from afar, hoping that we're going to learn this thing. I guess it's time. So first thing, here's musicality.
Hi,
if
musicality.
You do bundle exec rake routes. This command of rake routes is able to say what are all the routes that you know about in this application. We have 2 different models that have been scaffolded, and as such, 8 times 2 different routes. We see that patch and put were doubled up. Remember that? Posting to be able to build a new one. Or you can get a list of all of them. This is the very first line, which is going over to index. I want you to be able to learn the real RESTful approach. RESTful means it's like the industry standard way to look at data and work with it, like modify it, create new ones, delete old ones, work with it. So this is a list of all of them, which is the index. And then you could do like, show me one of them. If you're going to show me one of them, then you better know about the ID. I'm trying to get one back. So like, based on this ID, please show me one, will you? Or like this new and edit. These are forms. I want to get a form. It's not actually modifying anything yet. I want to get a form to either edit one or to make a new one. So those are good. And then finally, there's only really 4 things that modify stuff. So patch, put, delete, and post.
So pretty much everything what is not get are the things that are modifying. Get only gets the information and present it. Is that what it is?
Yes, it is. So these are our routes, and the routes will lead into the controller.
And then talk to the model. and then present a view.
If it's the get stuff, the four get things present a view, nothing else presents a view because everything else is modifying data.
So it's sneaky and it's working in the back without telling us about it.
Mm-hmm. We've already built out genres and artists. Let's just, now that we have this in front of us, let's go take a look at that stuff. So we'll run a Rails S to thereby get a Rails server running.
Our localhost.
Mm-hmm. And once we get that going, here we have the artists. Which action did I just have? Actually then, which route did I have that led to an action?
This is one of the get ones with index.
Yes, because it is artists. I had not indicated any sort of an ID or like I wanted a new one or something like this. So this URL mapped to the index action of the controller.
How delightful.
Indeed. And then it listed out all of them. That's what index does. It just likes to list out all of them. Let's find out what one of these is. Blink 182, if we look at the far lower left, is artist number 4. I can't go over here and have it stay very long, but anyway.
Let's try again. Maybe this time it would happen.
Oh,
almost.
What? Oh, no, not really, I guess. But artist number 4, that's a show. So what if I did want to see, so if I want to hand type in something to go and see a show action, the show route is saying, please provide an ID. Don't just tell me artist, because I'll think that you mean index. Instead, if you provide an additional piece, then as long as it's not new, then apparently if it's a number or something, then I'll try to think that it's an ID, and 4 is an ID that means Blink 182, and then it says I'm going to do the show action. And it showed Blink 182. Well, wait a minute. What if I did really do like new? What is that to say?
Is that gonna bring you to the create part of it?
It presents me a form. Yes.
Because create is an action that will save something. New is only a form.
Yeah, so new and edit, those two are very special forms to be able to work with data, but the thing that actually makes it change is either when we do a post, like from here, if I click create artist, it'll post back, which then ties into create.
Or it will also, we can also update something.
Yeah, let's go to that. So instead of a new, if we did 4, so the artist that is 4 is Blink 182, and we do /edit, this is a valid route. There is a route that understands an ID /edit, and this brings up editing Blink 182. And so when I click on update artist, it goes to what route?
So this one is for update.
Yes. So on this one, if I were to say, oh, Blink 182 really is alternative rock, so I'd make a choice there, and when I click update artist, it goes back into the update action. And then it very quickly indicates artist was successfully updated. So it really did call in to the route that went to the controller and made a change in the database, and then it said, I'm going to go out and show you this new change that has happened to Blink 182. They are now an alternative rock band. Congratulations, you guys. Some of my friends, by the way, you guys partied during high school graduation. Like Blink 182 played at some of my friends' high school graduation, which I can't believe, honestly. Congratulations for having Blink 182 at your damned high school graduation, by the way. For that, I think we should sing a Blink 182 song. What's my age again? Should we sing that shit? I don't know. And anyway, you were going to say...
Yeah, I wanted to see again what you were just talking about, but on the template that we prepared with the board. You were talking about all the action and routes, about put and patch and all the crazy things.
So we just modified Blink 182 with put, and we said artists. This is not things. You know, things is just a generic thing that I chose to put in here, but artists number 4, in this case, Blink 182 was number 4. And I had said, I want to modify that guy to say that the genre is alternative rock. And then from the route, it said, oh, you want to modify something? I have these set of params that you said, apparently, genre ID should be whatever alternative rock is. Maybe it's genre ID 3 or something. 4, I don't know. Anyway, it went into the controller and it said, will you please try to update this guy? I don't know what the hell to do with this, but here's all the params. So the route is only responsible to get this information over to the controller.
But there is so many different routes that look the same. Here is things /5. Here is things /5 and here as well.
Look at that, and we updated, but how do we know it was different than delete or different than show?
Because of some forms? I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a very good question. So I could have just shown what is Blink 182 today, and that would have been a get. I could get the information and say, what is Blink 182? Things 4 in this case, like artists 4.
But we did it before when we wanted to see what the information is stored with this letter artist.
Yes, and that's a get request. Let's go back further, actually. Let's do that. So if we do artist 4, boom. Artist 4 is Blink 182, and because I typed it into this URL bar, by the way, anything that I do in the browser is a get request.
Okay.
Let's just establish that.
Okay.
Because if I get artist number 4 here, if I just press enter, oh my gosh, get request for artist 4, Blink 182.
Now I want to delete it.
Oh, you want to delete? You hate Blink? What's wrong with you?
Well, because I can, right? Like here
I guess you
it
can.
shows that I can do
So that's true. So that was a get request, and that shows the information which had gotten only retrieved information and presented a form for show. Okay. Now, previously we had said that Blink was an alternative rock band, which was let's update stuff in the database, but not actually go anywhere else except, I guess, to show it, I guess. But now you want to delete. So you want to have like artists 4, you want to say destroy.
Does it mean that I have to go to the
Destroy. That's what we do with that. Destroy. We just destroy that way. It's Darth Vader style. Anyway.
And this is the punishment for destroying things, or what?
I guess. Wait, we wanted to make that one sad kitten thing. That was before, I guess. But anyway, so artists, why don't we go back to the URL that is index. What is it?
Yeah, we just take the index off because...
Oh, yeah, that's just artists. And then it went to the index route. It went to the index action of the artist's controller. It showed me all of the artists, and we see that Blink is still present, apparently. And then you want to destroy it. Notice that the link, if you look it down to the left, artists 4, but then the method, the thing is the HTTP verb that we present is not to get the thing, to be able to show it, but instead it's like to be able to delete it.
So it means that there are some methods that are defined in controllers?
Yes.
Okay.
In the artist's controller, there is a method defined that says destroy.
Okay, I see. And then from this point where we were in the browser, we only can ask for the get request if we want to go to the list of 4 other routes that we had on our board.
Okay, yes, here's the board, yes.
Then, if we want to call any of these actions, we have to go to the controller.
Ah, okay, I understand now. So let's actually see what's behind that destroy link. We see that it is focused upon artist 4, but when I click on this, so I had said before that the browser can only do get requests, but the web page itself can say I want to do a method of delete. If we go back over to Atom, let's dig into that view itself. It's an app, views, artists, and then index. That is the exact page that we were just viewing. It had said the name of the artist and so forth, various attributes about that artist, and then it had 3 different columns at the last that allow us to be able to change that artist in some way, to show, edit, or destroy. This is the link that we wanted to call into just a moment ago, and in fact, it explains, and this is from the browser, it can do a method delete. And so if we were to click on that thing, it would be able to go back into that route that says, I'm going to go and do a delete method today, and that'll route me to a destroy action. So the delete HTTP method would then map into, let's get that list of routes back up here. If I click on delete, then it would map into, on the artist, the delete HTTP method would map into the destroy action for the artist's controller. Wow.
Oh, okay, I think I get it. So in the browser, it shows us that we can edit, that we can destroy things as well. So the browser allows us to do that. We have to go and call the method that is built up in the controller to do these things.
These last three are very powerful here, yes. So when I say that the browser allows us to do it, what I mean is I can directly type into the URL bar there, into the address bar. I can type in these things. And this is all I'm allowed to do from the browser to be able to see a form that lets me do a new one, or to modify an existing one, or to show one, or to see all of them. That's all I can do by typing into the URL bar. But as you mentioned, if I had a list of all of them, then from there I can say destroy. I can like delete Blink 182, which calls out to artists/5 with a delete method, and it says destroy in the database. Boom. So you're saying that we should delete Blink 182? Do you hate them?
No, I was just...
So the 8 routes play into 7 different controller actions that thereby can potentially, these guys on the top, these guys can call 4 different view templates. And then these guys on the bottom, these 3, like they just directly modify data. Oh my gosh, if that works for you in your brain, congratulations, you've got it.
Here is your badge.
You get your Rails merit badge. But I wonder what this is all about, This form thing looks like it both plays into new and edit.
How did you figure it out?
I don't know, because I've been doing this for too long. Wait, was that a real question? The idea is, if you're going to make a new one, or if you're going to edit one, is there a lot of similarity between the two? Like if I make a new artist, what are some of the things I need to specify for an artist?
All the attributes that we put it in our model. So we had the name of artist, description, year formed, and genre piton.
Yeah. So if I'm modifying an artist, do I get the same choices? The name, the description, the year formed, and the genre? All 4 of those? So because new and edit are so damned similar to one another, they both leverage this common form thing. I think maybe let's go prove that out. These view templates are found in the views folder and underneath the respective name of whatever it is you're going to view. So in this case, artist. Let's get into the app, and then into views, and then we have artists, and notice 4 of these we're going to show us something with a GET request. So there's index. If I want to show just one, that's fine. If I want to make a new one, or if I want to edit one, then new and edit are here. And then both of those had played into underscore form, which we see right here. Let's see actually how new and edit play into underscore form, because this is fairly important. They make use of something called partials. This is a Rails concept. In a view template, we can have a partial, sort of here's a piece of HTML that I want you to render today. So new says render form, which really means render underscore form. And then it just leverages largely this form thing.
So it sends us over to this form.
Yes, it very much does. Or if I were to say edit, then edit also renders form. And as such, it also sends us over there.
What are the links that we see here?
So with editing, we can either show the existing one or go back to the list of all of them.
This is what is underneath the rest of the content of the site. We had these 2 little links. One was show and one was to go back.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes, this builds this out. Exactly.
So if we take that off, it's not going to show it on the site. Or we can add something else.
Let's put in just like Kilroy was here. Or whatever you want to put in there. I don't know. We save that out on the edit. And now when we go out and want to edit an existing artist, such as Misty and Roots. Kilroy was here. So this has now gotten put into the edit HTML ERB, and then the form thing was rendered prior, and the form is all of this. The underscore form is like all of this.
Okay, that makes sense.
So let's take out kill rows here, but we see that render form apparently has put in like all the different controls and the submit button and everything. That's a part of the form. We'll take that out.
Wow, what submit button?
The submit button. So now let's finally see if we do either edit or new, it'll have a similar sort of a look.
Yeah, I'm getting just like so curious about a form. Like, I really
Right?
want to see what
it's so huge. Form has like everything inside of it, because if you had something that happened before, this is the part. Lines 2 through 12 tell you, oh, you built something, you deleted something, you whatever you did. It tells you what happened. And so any sort of errors, any sort of information, so it presents it. Otherwise, please disregard. Now, the stuff I've highlighted, I want you now, please disregard it, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What really matters is lines 1 and the rest of it. So disregard lines 2 through 12. And then we find that this is a form for artists. Maybe we're making a new one, or maybe we're editing one. And here's the four important pieces. We have the name of the artist. We have the description of what they are, which is a text area as opposed to a text field, so that's big. So text area can hold more information. That's maybe a note for another time, I guess. I don't know. The year that they formed is a number field. And then we have a drop down to be able to pick what the genre is. And we built that out actually last video. If you want to see this, then go to the Jolene video at the end.
So this is exactly what specifies what data type we have in the given attribute or column.
Yes, as we build this out with a Rails G scaffold, if we build out something that is just, we don't say what kind of thing it is, and it's a string.
Mm-hmm.
A string has a text field.
And then when we had the text kind of data.
Text kind of data makes text area.
Yeah, and then with the number field, it's just the integer.
Integer will build out a number field. Okay. Yes.
Can we change it here?
Absolutely. This is, anything can change. The nice thing is once you built it with a Rails G scaffold, you can modify anything to your heart's content.
And we do that here, and we do it here in the view.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, what if we want this to be like a drop down? Maybe the years formed, we want it to be from like 1960 to 2012 or something, and then we can pick like in a drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared of this? Because I'm scared of it.
Cool.
Do you want to build this? Because I want to build this.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what we can do to be able to make this actually to be like, instead of a number field that we have people to like type in, let's have them scroll through and pick an actual number in the mix.
So as boring as the bank account thing.
Yeah, because it's only going to be in this range of valid years anyway. If they type in the year 50, does that mean that a band really formed in 50 AD and we care about them? We want them to have like a drop down. How would we actually write that? You know, to be able to see a set of years instead of a number field, which is...
No, but number field is just the integer. You type a number.
Isn't that terrible? I hate that. So on a number field, like you can go up and down, 1968, 1969. It's terrible. Number field is terrible. So Misty and Roots, why don't we do something like, instead of number field, you can do, and Rails gave you number field, but you can do f.select, and then for the year forms, we want that, but the options for the select happen to be 1950 up to 2015. I mean, current, I guess. We'll save this out, and when we render this thing, now we can pick any one of these years in the mix. So 1950, I don't know when Misty and Roots formed, maybe 1964. So that's reggae. And when we go back to the list of stuff, largely though, what do we have happening when we are writing out all of these different models, views, and controllers? There's a lot of file set that gets built out when we say Rails G scaffold. Last video, the Jolene video, we had done a Rails G scaffold for genre and another one for artist, and it built out model information. Controller stuff, here's artist and genre again, so we see that the models have artist and genre. Controllers have apparently artist controller and genres controller, so that's something to note. This is singular, this is plural, so that's a little interesting. But further, over in views, we have folders that have to do with artists and genres. Also, in the routes, and the routes are found inside of the config folder. Over in routes RB, we have a resources for artists and for genres. So far, if I'm counting right, that starts to be like 4 different things. The model, the view, the controller, and as well the route. So 4 different things that have been built out automatically by a Rails G scaffold.
And we just wrote one line and it made so many different files and changes.
Yes. I want to know more. I mean, if I'm going to write this very powerful line, I want to know what's being changed. What am I getting new in my life from that?
Oh wait, didn't you just accidentally
earlier today
happen
when I knew I would be recording this video?
Exactly, just like very accidentally build out a little program that is gonna show what is happening while you were scaffolding.
Oh my gosh, did I do that really? Was that me? So if you go to Polangeles.com/Rails/Rails G visualizer.
Well, look how colorful it is.
Oh, it's so purple. So we had built out in the last video, if you recall, we did like genre, and all of a sudden it's like thinking for us, and like we put a name in there. So if we do Rails G scaffold of genre and name, this is the name of a model, and there's only one attribute apparently that's applied to this given model. And so in routes, it's built out this exact line, resources, genres. It pluralizes it. That's how it works. And these 8 routes had come together. You know, there's the put and patch that both go over to update. So that's why there's 8 instead of 7. And then if you look at the app, views, genres, _form, this is what we were just editing to be able to put in that drop down to have like years and stuff on board. It also builds out index, show, new, and edit, so that's important, but the _form is referenced from both new and edit, as we had just briefly discussed. And we see this as being, this is the exact thing. If you only have name, there's the stuff that has to do with name. You click the submit, it'll either make a new genre with its name, or if it's an edit form, then it'll update an existing.
So we have a few ways to see what is happening. Like, this seems to be a very easy way. We just type a comment for the scaffold.
Yes, Rails G scaffold. Yeah. So this is a command that we can run at the terminal.
And here it's going to show us all the changes that are happening in this places. So in the motor view and controller.
Yeah, here's the controller. It's got the genres controller. It extends from application controller. It's got the index as well as like 6 more actions. I got lazy. I didn't want to like fill all those in because I thought you guys would be bored. So like this is the index that lists all of them. And genres is equal to genre all. But this is important. Like at the end of the controller, this never trust parameters from the scary internet thing. This is the genre group params. So this tells you exactly like we're permitting name. Because we said that we wanted to have a genre with a name, it has a permit just of only name. Or like of the models, genre says, I don't know much except just like you got genre, that's it. So it's pretty boring right there right now. You know, what if we did the same one though for artist? Rails G scaffold artist. The artist had a name and description, which was a text, and a year formed, which was an integer. And as we're typing this stuff, do you know that actually it's building out multiple fields down below? The routes are all going to be fairly consistent. It's just like artist stuff, so that's all very boring. When we get into the view template for the form, this is the thing that we were just modifying with underscore form. Then it's a form for the artist. And then further, it has a text field for the name, a text area for the description because it's longer. We said it was a type of text, so it has more information. A text field for your form. Actually, that should be a numeric field. But anyway, I fucked that up, I guess. Anyway, it will try to build out what the machine is doing for you. The
But it
artist
doesn't
controller.
save it. It's only the preview of what is happening. It's a letter.
Yeah, it tries to tell you everything that Rails is doing. It's like trying to tell you Rails is building all these files for you for free. Let's see what more, though. So the artist model is very boring right now. We do see that the parameters coming in on the controller are at least like 3 things, but that's interesting, I guess. But over here, why don't we do the final thing, which is genre : references. If we go to genre references, now, look at that. A new line has come in the model to say that it belongs to genre. And we are now allowing genre to be a part of our params, by the way. Strong parameters there. But as we have foreign keys that reference, like we have a one-to-many, one genre can have many artists. As we say that we have now artist that references genre, we say then that artist belongs to genre. What if we said that it like references user? Not that it's true, but anyway, user references. Then sure enough, we have now an additional entry in the mix. This is a web page out on Polangeles, so you can goof around and play around with it. There's another couple of things you can do. If you only want to scaffold out, not the whole scaffold, but only scaffold underscore controller, did you know that that's a real thing? You can do Rails G scaffold controller and say all of this other stuff, and then it does not build out the routes. See, it's grayed out. It does not build out the routes. Does not build out any sort of model stuff. It only builds these 2 parts.
Why? Why would you do this?
If you already have the model in place, then it's nice to add this just one thing. The scaffold controller means controller plus views. Okay, so the name is scaffold controller, but really it actually builds the controller and the views as well. Or did you know that you could do Rails G, not scaffold anything, but Rails G model? And then instead of building out any part of routes or views or controller, it only builds the model.
How does it connect to the rest of the program if it doesn't build any other features?
Maybe you only want that. In some cases, you only want to build out the model.
Like in what case, for example?
Let's say we had a many-to-many. Like, remember that restaurant example?
Mm-hmm.
We're working with the food over in Krakow.
Mm-hmm.
There's like restaurants and people reviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
So users could give a rating for a given restaurant. That's a many-to-many. In this case, the rating would be one of these models. And it would not have like seeing only one rating at a time. I would want to perhaps see the restaurant with its ratings overall, or the user with how many things they've referenced and they've rated overall. This user is given 50 different ratings over time or something. But maybe I wouldn't want to see an individual rating. So this is an example of building out only with Rails G model.
Does it make it faster?
Well, at least less stuff, I guess. It's not necessarily faster though. This is same speed, but it would make it so it's like more trim, I guess. We don't have as much stuff as a developer to work with.
Okay, so it's better.
Yes, it can limit down, as you mentioned. You can focus it down, so it's only the little bit of stuff that you really care about at the time. Good times, my gosh. If this chart makes any sort of sense to you, congratulations for being a badass, I think. Because this video, like the only thing that we wanted to do was make a video that said, oh my gosh, this is Rails at large.
It's nice because I hated Rails in the morning when I was trying to work with it. But now it's better, like I don't hate it anymore at least.
Thank you for being part of the program. And who knows, maybe you out in Viewerland is also somebody who said, I don't hate Rails as much anymore. I think I'll be a part of the program. In which case, or wee, or here I am, or whatever it is. Come over and party on Rails. That's all I know. Thanks, guys, very much. Please go out to Polangeles.com, have some fun with Rails, and let's make the world a better place through code.